Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Dr. Darnise's House of Religion, Magic, and Conjure. Glad to have you with me. Excuse me while I adjust the camera for a moment. Thanks again for spending your time with me. Thanks for coming back to the channel. I always appreciate it. So, what's on the topic for today? I thought I would come on and talk about Black religious news. Things that are going on in our environment and our society that kind of brush up against Black religion. So, first of all, I wanted to start with something that I've mentioned before, but I kind of wanted to revisit it, and that is what makes Black religion. So, when I'm talking about that, we're all kind of on the same page. And so, when I say Black religion, what I mean is the way Black people do religion, whatever kind of religion it is, and whatever denomination it might be. Black people infuse it with a recognition of Black humanity, Black dignity, and the quest for freedom, right? The insistence upon our freedom. And of course, this is necessary in a society that's white supremacist, that has historically attempted to deny our basic humanity. So in our religion, even, it's an important part of what makes Black religion is this quest to assert, not even a quest, because we don't really have to search for our humanity. It's an assertion and a claiming of our own humanity, our right to be, our right to freedom, our right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, our right to joy, so that we're not just stuck in dysfunction and just barely getting by and thinking that that's all we can expect. We just in survival mode. No, it's about joyously living life. So in Black religion, and if you've been to a Black church versus a white church, a Black Methodist church versus a white Methodist church, you know that there's something in the spirit, there's something in the celebration, right, that's different. But also in the sermon, in the messaging that affirms Black humanity, Black dignity, Black joy, even in the face of hardship. So when I talk about Black religion, I'm talking about religion that lifts up Blackness. So to kind of get us on that same page there. So one of the things I want to talk about is this movement on social media right now, where white people are having to come to grips with Jesus not being white. Have you seen this? So I always say 2020 is the year of clear vision. And there's so many things that we're having to look at clearly. And maybe for some people for the first time, right? A lot of white people are saying, oh, I never knew this was going on. I never knew this was happening. I never knew Black people were living with this. I never knew that the idea of a Black Jesus was something that would be important to Black people. I never knew that a white Jesus would be considered oppressive in any way. I never thought about that. And Black people, we just roll our eyes, right? We just roll our eyes like, what do you mean you didn't know? So anyway, there's this movement where people are posting images of Black Jesus, or at least the Mediterranean Jesus. And some white people are kind of losing it just because they have to even consider that Jesus was not white. And so I wanted to bring that up too and see where you've seen this. Have you seen any of the postings of Jesus as a Black man, as a Palestinian Jewish man, which we know he was a Jewish man, right? He's not Nordic. And so the fact that some white people really want to maintain his whiteness is ever so telling. Like, they will stand in the face of all historical knowledge, all genetic DNA knowledge, and just refute his Blackness, right? They'll just be like, no, he's white. No matter what you show me, he's white. So I just want to know what y'all make of that, right? Jesus is white, y'all. Secondly, you probably have heard about Nick Cannon and what he got into regarding his Black nationalist position, right? And remember I said in a couple videos back, maybe it's been a month or so ago, that I expected to see an increase or an uptick in Black people reclaiming Black nationalism. It just seems like the natural kind of next step for where we're headed, right? Black people feel especially under siege. Where do we turn? Where do we go? We go to those spaces and places that lift up our humanity and our dignity, allow us to be dignified human beings, right? So I kind of said, yeah, I expect to see the Black nationalists really making a comeback, if you will. And we did have a speech from Minister Louis Farrakhan, which, you know, a lot of outlets wouldn't even show. They won't even show Minister Farrakhan. So there's Nick Cannon with his show. I don't remember what platform he's on, but he's got his own, you know, podcast, I guess it is. And he had some people on there who were talking about, you know, Black Israelites, Black Hebrew people. And if you haven't heard of any of this, you could just Google, right? Nick Cannon, probably that's the first thing that's going to come up, because what has happened is there's been such a backlash against Nick Cannon for even having a conversation about the role that Jewish people played in the slave trade, or the role that Jewish people play in any sort of oppressive anything, right? And so he was having the conversation, and so he was labeled anti-Semitic. You know, the Black Hebrews, the Black Israelites, they assert that it's really Black people in the Bible, right? That's really a story about Black people, and that the Jews are, you know, not the original Hebrew people. And so it was a conversation about that, and Nick Cannon was having that conversation. And well, he got shut down, y'all, right? He's lost a couple gigs, or a couple of really good gigs behind that. And I mean, that's kind of to be expected, because our society is what it is. And it's very hard for white people or people who are holding on to certain institutions to have to shift in any significant way, right? We know this. We know they don't really want to shift. And I mean, in this case, I'm not even, you know, here to affirm whatever Nick Cannon said or whatever that conversation was, because I didn't listen to the whole thing. But what I'm trying to say is, the conversation, he should be able to have the conversation. He should be able to ask certain questions without being shut down, right? Without him losing his jobs, because it was multiple jobs, right? And so now he's going to go to court to retain ownership of his show Wild and Out, because, you know, he's not going to be the host of it, and all of that. But it kind of stands to reason that when Black people stand up and say, hey, I'm taking this position, or I'm going to have a conversation that uplifts Black people, that white people would say, no, that's not allowed. It's not even allowed for you to have the conversation. Well, Nick Cannon is somebody who has money and fame, and so he's going to use his platform. So he says at this point, he's going to use his platform to highlight, you know, his freedom to talk about these things. So anyway, that's just another example of some things that are going on. Y'all have probably heard about it. Let me know in the comments what you think about, you know, what's happened to Nick Cannon, and about his sort of aligning with that Black nationalist, that sort of Black Judaism, Black nationalist stream. And, you know, where he's come out now is that he said that he realizes that he needs some more education himself, and that he's willing to get it. And he apologizes if he, you know, was out of line in some way, but that he wants to seek to educate himself, and that he's going to continue to do that. Apparently, he's interested in doing some advanced, I guess, graduate level work in religion in particular, which is interesting because he's related to Katie Cannon. A lot of people don't know this. Katie Cannon is one of the foremost womanist theologians. She is one of the foremost, what does that mean? She is one of the foremost Black liberation theologians. Womanist theology was a branch of Black liberation theology that started in 1980. And she is considered one of the grandmothers of the movement. So it's very interesting that Nick Cannon would be finding his way along a trail that his relative has already walked. And I've never heard him say this about, you know, Katie Cannon. I don't know if it's his auntie or who she is, but now she's an ancestor. And isn't it interesting if now I say now she's an ancestor because it was what she died 2 or 3 years ago. So it will be interesting that if his ancestral lineage is calling him to that path right now, and he's doing it in public because he is a public figure. So I'm watching that. I'm watching that. And that's what this series is about, this Black Religion News series that I'm doing. As things happen in our media, I'm here to talk about it because that's what we do on this channel. And lastly, at least for this episode, is Beyonce's visual album, um, Black is King. I made a video about, the first song that she released from that. But I just watched part of it. I just got the Disney Channel so I could watch it. So Disney Plus until, probably for only the month. So I can watch it. And it's stunning. It is a stunning presentation. It's a beautiful artistic piece. I've already said what I said in terms of how she is teaching the world about African spirituality. And no, she's not the sole one to do it. And of course, there are people who really live and have been living their lives in around African spirituality since the beginning of time. But again, given her fame and her platform, she is talking about something that most of us, we really have to say, most Black people in the Americas know nothing about, right? And white people certainly don't know about it because they're the ones who told us that our traditions were demonic. They're the ones who told us that we shouldn't practice our religions. And yet, here's Beyonce saying, let me re-educate so that we can feel our own humanity and our own dignity. So we get back to Black religion. She is actually doing Black religion through her music. She's doing Black religion because she's elevating Black people and saying, remember who you really are. Remember what's most important, your own dignity, right? Your own quest for freedom, to be free and to freely choose who you're going to be and how you're going to practice your spirituality. So again, if you can leave me in the comments what you think of it. Black is King. I'm sure everybody in the world is writing about it at this point or making videos about it. But from my point of view, she's giving us both religion and style. Some people have, I don't know how people can be critical, but I mean, of the piece as if it's something negative. You know, on one hand, we put too much on our entertainers to fix all the ills of the world. But, some people I've heard say that, where's the historical accuracy kind of a thing? And I go, it's a music production. It's not a history book. It's not intended to be a history book, right? It's to elevate Blackness and to teach the world or to teach whoever watches it something about Blackness. And in that Black spirituality, Black style, Black fashion, Black music, Black dance, you know what I'm saying. So anyway, that's going to be all for now. I just want to come on with these little segments, and I'll continue to do these Black religion news because, our world is moving so fast now. Things are just, there's always something is what I'm trying to say. So thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Let me know what tidbits you might want to hear me talk about, what's going on in the news, what's going on in your neck of the woods. Yeah, that's it. Bye for now.